What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fignight at the Tavern. It is me, the OG Fig Kid, flying solo tonight. Unfortunately, Mike Belcaster, a bit under the weather with the flu, so he won't be joining us for our special episode tonight, unfortunately. But let's wish him well. Hope he feels better really, really soon. It's not the same when we're both not here together. But anyway, we are expecting our special guest in just a couple minutes, but before we get started, let's just plug the tavern like we like to do when we get started here, guys. If you have not yet done so, head on over to theturnbuckletavern.com. Follow, like, and subscribe to us everywhere you possibly can. All of our links are listed there. If we're somewhere, you're going to find it there. Our link is going to be there. Also, you can follow us at Official Fignight on Instagram, the official Fignight Instagram. See, it's pretty easy. When you're done there, head on over, join our Discord, come short, talk to us. It's always a lot of fun. Oops, we're naked. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
I got something for you this time. I got a guy I want to talk to.
Welcome back to the show, Steve Ozer. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? Man, I made it just in the nick of time.
Yeah, well, it's going well. Unfortunately, Mike's under the weather. He has a bad flu.
No.
Yeah, and he was looking forward to it, but hopefully he feels better soon. So it's just going to be me and you talking about wrestling figures. You know, what else can we ask for? So before we get started, should I show you what I got in the mail today?
Let's take a look.
I'm super excited. You know, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Oh, some say that he's not wrapped too tight. Captain Lou, Captain Lou.
Oh, I love that song. NRBQ. So, but and it even comes with the gold record in here to hit over his head. Piper hit it over.
Right. Roddy can nail him now, break that gold record over his head, and a good time will be had by all.
Yeah, I love these superstars. This is my favorite. It's the most fun line out of all the wrestling figures right now. And my Walmarts are all getting them in. It's so much fun. I still have yet to find the Blue Boots Hogan or the Blue Chase Hogan. I'm going to find it eventually. And I noticed they're on the back of this one again. So I guess we'll have double the shot. Will Hogan be the Chase?
Right. So that's a little bit of a holdover from when Walmart had open stocks of Hogan and Ric Flair, and they were kind of doing that method to have like those heavy hitter talent available for like 6 months. So they moved away from that and back to assortment. So we had a little bit of a holdover, and so that's why you're seeing duplicates and waves. And then as we move into 2024, and some of the new waves that we revealed, you see 3 superstars in the wave: Hogan, Andre, and Doink. And that's the cadence going forward. Three figures per wave.
Oh, that's awesome. You just
so you won't have the repeats. You won't have the repeats anymore. Oh. So now you only have one chance to get those unless we decide to reissue or something.
Gotcha. Well, they're just so awesome, and I love just the way they are. And I see a lot of people saying, well, Andre never had those muscles, but that's not what this line is about. If you want accurate,
maybe he did.
Maybe he did. I watched Andre a long time, and I mean, he was a strong guy. I wouldn't mess with him. But I just love all the little things you're doing with the superstars. It's just such a fun line. But,
yeah, Bill Benicky designs those. He previously worked on DC Universe Classics and some Motu Classics. So he's an old school toy guy, and he knows his stuff. And he grew up in the 80s, like us, maybe 70s, maybe. I didn't say that. I don't want to date him too much, but he remembers this stuff and holds it dearly to his heart. And when he designs these, it's truly like a love letter to all the toys that we had as kids. And that Mr. T Superstars, which was the #1 performing CollectorCon item for us during that CollectorCon. So when people are like, "Ew, hey, is there another Mr. T?" Well, people love Mr. T and they buy them. So we're gonna make them. Anyway, all that love comes through, and anything 80s centric like is such a good fit for superstars. And hats off to Bill for killing it with those superstars figures, and he's very collaborative with me and includes me in the decision making, and it's been a pleasure.
Well, for us guys who are the golden era children, who else better to talk to about this? Like, we love that era. It's the best era of wrestling. I mean, I think I might be a little partial because that's the era I grew up in, but I still go back and have to watch that stuff all the time.
I like that title for us, the Golden Era Children.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to start a support group for the Golden Era children. Just
And
by
FYI, I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking down to share this link in
that's all good.
stories now so people can join us.
Great. So the Superstars line is continuing as far as we know. Then we don't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah. It's healthy. It's doing great. It's on schedule now with what you're seeing at retail. Obviously, there was a little bit of a slowdown earlier in the year, but we have the most current waves hitting. And as long as it does well, like, myself and Bill definitely want to keep it around. And I think, people in the company, that's our form factor, right? That's our Masters of the Universe style 80s form factor that, everyone in the 80s like did knockoffs of. So, we're owning it right now. We want to keep it around as long as possible.
Yeah, just to sidetrack a little bit from wrestling, I know this is something that you have, and I've been really itchy when I'm walking down the aisles at Walmart and I see the Superpower throwback figures. Oh, I haven't bought any yet. I know you have the original League of Justice Hall, right? The Hall of Justice.
Yeah, Hall of Justice. I have a almost complete vintage collection. I think I'm missing the Dark Side Destroyer, which I keep seeing and almost pull the trigger on, but I'm just out of space at the moment. And I need like the Justice Jogger, which maybe I can live without. I don't even know why Superman would need that. People complained, why does he even need a Supermobile? But I don't know that he really needs a Justice Jogger.
So, do you have rules for your collecting? Like, I know I have rules, and I'm trying not to start a whole nother thing to start buying. Although I feel if I went with the Superpower collection, I feel like it's going to be a limited thing. I don't think there's going to be new stuff coming all the time. Do you have personal rules for your collection?
Of course. You have to set boundaries. I collect a lot. There, I shared. We're good for now. You set up boundaries, and then maybe you bend the limits of those boundaries as time goes by. But whenever something new comes along and you want to dive into it, you maybe readjust those boundaries and rules on things. Because I collect a lot. What's that?
FOMO is real.
Yeah, seriously, especially now that things are coming that were dreams of ours for decades, basically. You mentioned superpowers. Yeah, brother love. Superpowers, like I dreamed of this line coming back since I was a kid, since it ended. I never wanted it to end, and now it's back. And there's some characters in there that are more modern, and like I have no idea, some of the looks and stuff, and like, do I need those? If this goes deep and lasts many years, maybe I start to cut out some of the modern versions of characters that are being included. So yeah, just rules like that. G.I. Joe Classified, I'm kind of cutting it off at mid 90s for characters. Like anything that happened late 90s 2000s, like maybe I don't need them, but anything early 90s through early 80s is fair game. So whatever rules apply. And then someone cool comes along and I'm like, well, okay, I'll break the rules, and then I crumble and have to rent another storage unit.
And that's to me where going into like a Walmart or a Target and you say, I'm not doing this, I'm not going to get those. And then you hold it in your hand and you look at it. And sometimes that's what gets you. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
I was in Walmart the other day and they got, I think it was the recent set with Liv Morgan. And I was like, I don't need all these. I'm trying to and then you buy them because they're in your hand and they just look so good. Like it's just crazy. Like I tried it myself.
With basics, I stopped buying basics other than Legends just a few months before joining Mattel. And then, of course, I started working on basics, and then the floodgates opened up again, right? Retros, I remember retros, that feeling, seeing retros at Walmart for the first time and seeing that in hand, and it's like all those memories flood back. The TMNT stuff right now, they're $10 and it's the vintage style, and it's just amazing to see them on shelf. And I'm like, do I need Baxter Stockman again? I'm like, maybe I do.
And the other thing, my Walmart has some of the Superpower stuff on clearance right now, and that's really tempting me as well. And it's like, if it's on clearance, that means I might not get it if I don't buy it now. So
Yeah, that's the cycle. Clearance, super cheap, and then skyrocket on the secondary market 6 months
exactly.
later sometimes.
It's so funny because I wonder about a lot of these figures that you see sitting on the shelves. Sometimes I think those are the ones to collect because not as many people are going to have them down the line.
I don't know. There's different circumstances for every item. Some things sit because they produced enough to outlast its time on planogram, right? So you have a season on planogram, a couple months before they move on, and they want that place on planogram to be productive the whole time. So they want enough product that it's not going to just sell out in 3 weeks and then you'll have an empty peg until the next planogram reset. So it depends. And then production numbers vary from item to item, so you never really know. It is a crapshoot, especially if you're on the outside. You don't know what truly is a rarity and what is produced in high numbers. It's kind of difficult to say. And there's curveballs thrown out there. Remember the Tito Santana Hall of Fame figure?
Yeah.
That one was designed to be a lower run figure and wound up being by far the most highly produced of the entire wave, because Hulk Hogan was out of the picture. So you kind of never know. And I don't know what Tito's going for now, but maybe he's more desirable suddenly, now that a lot of time has gone by. Maybe I'll look that up while we're talking.
That's a
I'm
great
curious.
question because I bought a couple of those Tito's myself because I think, is that the only Tito available from Mattel? I think it is, but I love Tito.
Yeah, unfortunately, those circumstances probably prevented another Tito from happening. But maybe someday. I think
Take that into consideration, like why.
Well, I do, of course, but in my time on the brand, Tito wasn't available to me. But yeah, I definitely keep those things in consideration. Yeah, $30.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and you know what? You never know. Coliseum collections out there as well, so and that gives more possibilities. It's just
Right. Maybe that's a way to get a vintage intercontinental title out there.
ooh, I like it. I like it. Speaking
That's
of
not a promise. It's just my own personal wish, maybe.
because we're not taking anything gospel here. You didn't say it's coming. So let's get that straight right now. Everybody wants to know. I've seen like the buzz floating around the internet today. Any update on the Macho Man situation?
I have not been on the internet much today. So what's the buzz?
Well, apparently there are pictures of it. People are getting it in hand, and it's been leaked. If somehow
Stolen items.
people,
So
maybe this means it's coming soon.
there's no update. If and when things change, he's coming. Like, of course, that figure is going to come out. And these things tend to resolve themselves. Nothing's wrong, right? It's just you gotta strike a new deal. So once everything is ironed out, the hope is that happens, and it's soon, and that figure comes out in a mainline release as is. So I wouldn't, hey, I know it's tempting, but don't drop tons of cash on that thing when you'll be able to get it for $32. Hopefully sometime soon. I hope.
We talked about vintage. We talked about the superstars. Have you checked out the big rubber guys?
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I have Matt Cardona and Brian Myers already, eagerly anticipating Demolition. And I saw them in person at PowerCon, and they had them right next to some legit old school LJN figures. And it's the closest I've seen, right? Jax took a stab at them with classic superstars, and we see the wrestling superstars figures now, with CM Punk and some other, Cody Rhodes had one and some others. But I think, Matt and Brian are just killing it, and they really got as close as possible. I'm sure there are modern restrictions to where you can't 100% replicate what happened back in the 80s, but they're right there. Very, very close. And I think Brian Beatty maybe is the sculptor for those. And he's doing a really nice job, because it's very difficult to capture that magic of the old LJN sculpts, right? It was very of the time. And he does some little things that gets it very close, and his own little touches there on them as well. Right. Just like those old versions, like the sculptors, you know, their personalities and style came through, and those sculpts they look slightly off. Like that's Hulk Hogan clearly, but also it's not Hulk Hogan at the same
Yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love these are my originals from when I was a kid. I still
Oh,
have them all.
yeah, I've got mine too.
I mean, and I've been updating and buying new ones to try and display them, but again, I grew up with those, so they're my go-to. Like, so when I saw that those were coming out, you know, I instantly got to Matt and Brian because I wanted to see what they were going to be like. Ordered 3 sets of Demolition to make sure I got the chases, and you know now that Flair one looks amazing. We're getting Macho Man, yeah, Macho and Andre now. I'm not
Nipples
speaking.
or no nipples on Macho Man, and what size,
It's
right?
like I didn't even think of that, but like
They should have done that. They should have done
the
chases where
chase.
they're like different size.
That's a great idea. But yeah, like the Andre, like I'm kind of torn on if I love the fact that he's gonna stand straight up because it's not staying true to the original line, but also it's kind of fun that he's gonna be the size of Andre the Giant. So it's like
Mhm.
I kind of got to let it go a little bit and not. But it's just fun. And those Andres, it's like now I'm debating: do I get the navy blue or do I get the black, or do I do both?
Both, both.
Wait, I'm probably gonna do both. You know me, I can't not do both, but, I love it. I love what they've done, like you said, they've come so close to, like, to what the original LJNs are, and everybody's like, "Oh, it can't be done now, they're too heavy." Well, you leave it to those guys, and Canick goes out there, and that guy works his ass off at getting this
Oh,
stuff.
he's the man. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's something to aspire to be and not aspire to be all at the same time, right? If you
Yeah,
want quality of life, don't follow his lead. But if you want fulfillment, creative fulfillment, definitely follow his lead.
yeah, and the stuff they do is awesome, and it's so great seeing so many independent toy companies out there now, you know, with the Heels and Faces, he's done a great job with them. You guys
Yeah.
keep an eye on the pulse of there you go, I'm still
No,
gonna
I have no idea what's going on with competitors whatsoever, right?
there you go. Okay. I didn't get that. Yeah, I was
All
never
of them,
a Hasbro
all of
kid.
them, right?
Oh, wow, you really do have it all.
Look,
That's
you know, I support creatives. These guys are paying talent as well. Um, so everybody's winning, and the fans are winning, collectors are winning. Um, and I get to round out my collections with some talent that maybe I won't have access to, or just a different take like that Andre. Like of course we do Andre figures, but this is a nice take, and I like Zombie's style of toys. So I'm very appreciative of what everybody's doing out there, and I think they have the Bone Crunchers coming. So there's tons of different iterations. Like I don't know that we've ever had this many choices before, even at the peak of the Attitude Era with Toy Biz's Nitro line. What were they called? Slam and Crunch. That first year. And the San Francisco Toy Makers. Like I mean, this is just like there's so many different form factors and toy makers and talent signing independent deals like outside of the big companies. Like this is pretty cool, and it was you kind of saw the writing on the wall when the AEW line was launching. Like things were about to veer off in this awesome direction where as a wrestling figure collector, good times were ahead.
yeah, it's what a great time to be a wrestling figure collector and a wrestling fan. Like we're at a boom for everything right now. Everything is really good. Like to me, I don't think there's anything better in wrestling than when you have guys jumping brands in between the like guys Edge going to AEW. That's fun. We got Jade Cargill in WWE. That's amazing. Like it just you got more dream matches now with all these possibilities, and you don't just have to do it with your figures anymore. You could actually watch it on TV. Like it's just such a fun time to be a wrestling fan.
I love it when I can plan for it. Like if I know somebody's contract is up and we can kind of slow down things, right? That's great. But unexpected surprises, when you have a lot in the pipeline can be challenging. But I mean that's all part of the business, and it's fun at the same time, and keeps you on your toes. And it's better than the alternative of having I guess a boring period of time in the business where not a lot is happening and things are getting stagnant. It's all always exciting.
Yeah, and I realize it must be more disappointing to you than even us, because we're like, oh no, we're not going to get any more figures of so and so, but we don't know what was planned. So what we're not going to get sometimes, like what was planned for maybe some guy who just jumped to AEW. So
Yeah, I will say for the most part, things come back around. Usually, obviously like Sting,
yeah,
he's still with AW, but you know, you remain hopeful and you could take another stab at it later, maybe. But in the meantime, you get awesome product from friends in the business who are doing awesome stuff. So
yeah.
it's okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah, like you can't be upset. You just got to embrace it all. And like you said, things do come back around. If rumor is Sting's announcing his retirement tomorrow night on Dynamite. So who knows what happens after that? Maybe he could get a Legends deal again. So who knows? It's just
It,
fun.
all I need is the Jake Roberts, Billy Gunn style deal, and
Yeah.
I'll be happy. I might get in trouble for saying that, but hey, I think all the fans kind of win with that little bit of flexibility. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get to do Sting figures again.
Yeah, we could only hope, you know. Uh we have a lot of the greatest hits coming. Any update on the greatest hits Legends deal figures coming to Target?
They are going to be on, I believe, a side kick type display. So it's that narrow, maybe two side to side type of cardboard display. And it's supposed to be any time now. There's no timetable that I know of when they'll start setting, but I guess as soon as Targets start getting them, they'll put them out. There's no street date or anything. So
So in other words, guys, keep your eyes open.
yeah.
They pop up. That's cool. That's fun. That's fun.
I'll give you an exclusive though on Bruno. So Bruno's been fluctuating. For one reason or another, he didn't make it onto the sidekick display. And we're going to do him online via target.com. So, that didn't pan out. So we've actually moved him into a mainline elite wave in 2024. I forget the wave number. So maybe midway through the year, you'll see that figure just appear in a regular elite wave. So, yeah, breaking news for you. And it'll, be that much easier for, collectors to grab that Bruno now.
And I have the original one in box, and I can't open it, and I need one to put loose on my. So it's perfect.
Well, hey, there you go.
Martino, I'm here for it. I love Bruno. I remember I got the tail end of his career when he came back with his son David, and Piper and him had the feud. The famous Piper's Pit from MSG.
I think there was a Coliseum home video of I think it was called Steel Cage Matches or something. And I think it was Piper. Was it Piper versus Bruno? Or no, Macho versus Bruno. Macho versus Bruno in a cage.
I'm gonna say that was from the Boston Gardens.
Probably. Was it a tag match? Was it like Tito and Bruno versus Adrian Adonis and Macho Man? All this probably happened. Every scenario I just said probably was a match that I've seen. I just don't remember what was on that tape.
Yeah, no, I used to love those Coliseum collection, and I think a lot of them are up on the Peacock now too. So you could go back and watch them. Those videos, I couldn't wait for my video store to get those in, which is Coliseum collection also ties right into that.
Oh yeah.
Coliseum collection. Any updates on when the Piper and George Animal Steel set will be?
I don't have the date handy, and the only reason I'm not sharing the date is because I want to make sure Mattel Creations is fully ready to go, so there's no longer date shuffle or whatever. The item though, when people order it, they're going to get it the same time they would have always gotten it. So the item itself is not delayed. Just when you're able to put your pre-order down, it's just being shuffled around. So the item is going to be ready to go and going to be ready to ship to you when it was always going to. They just needed to adjust the sale date, on their end because, they have a lot of items that they're juggling. And this one just needed to get nudged out to give it a little more love. So really no delay on the item itself. You're going to get it. If I never would have announced that date, nobody would have known the difference. You're getting it at the exact same time you always would have.
Okay, I feel a little better. I need that Piper. I need any Piper though. I love the WCW one that's coming out. That looks amazing too. So I found the Legends ring in Target the other day. The blue steel cage.
Yes.
And here's my tip for people out there: that ring works perfect for the Superstars figures. The goes hand in hand. I meant to do some pictures with it, and I haven't gotten a chance to. I love that ring. I love that cage, and I love how the superstars it's like the perfect scale for that.
That's one of my secret motives for getting it out again. So,
I've discovered it, Steve.
so I do have secret motives for you guys on all of your behalf, sometimes that I don't tell anybody about, until moments like this. So, when there was a moment to refresh the target cage, like, that the previous cage did unbelievably great, and surpass our expectations. And then, there was the desire to refresh the cage. I pushed for a legend style cage, and bring this one back, because people had been asking for a superstars ring and superstars cage, and of course regular elite and basic collectors would want, and Coliseum collection even, would buy into this. So it was kind of serves a dual purpose of, if you're the standard 7-inch figure collector, check. And then now superstars collectors have something for them. Not to say we couldn't do something specific to superstars down the road for a ring, because that old Remco ring was pretty cool and unique with the fabric, ring skirt and mat. So there's still an opportunity to do something fun and truly, throwbacky, based on like a Remco type of a ring. But for now, we have something we can use to display our superstars.
One of the things I love the most is seeing with this, though, is, and shout out to our friend Nick Storm and Fig Friday, guys. Check him out. Great show. So much fun. But like, young guys like him are so into the golden era and love the guys we watched growing up. I find that so cool that like he loves Andre and he loves Savage, and like it's so amazing how it just trickles down, even though it's 30 something years ago at this point, even though it doesn't seem like it. Like, it just lives forever. And now with Peacock, they could just go and turn it on. I remember watching Bruno Sammartino versus Larry Zbyszko on the Coliseum videos. They had the match Hogan versus Andre from Shea Stadium as well. I think that might have been the same card even. And we didn't have as much access to it as it does now, but it's so cool that the young collectors are getting that and appreciating the stuff we got to love as a kid.
I think it speaks to the strength of characters and storytelling in wrestling, and those guys built themselves, like everything about them, and it was just fully fleshed out, especially when they had long careers, and video games, toys, and now like Peacock, it just lets these guys live on forever. And we didn't have that. It was tough back then. We had VHS tapes, as you just mentioned. And then some of the other characters, or talent, I should say, because they weren't really characters. It was just a guy in black trunks. You know what I mean? And it was like, it was like about where he was from or what his ethnicity was, more than anything. And it wasn't, you didn't know who they were beyond that. There was nothing to draw us in as kids, unless they had that extra special something. And there were, sometimes like an Ivan Putski, he had a little bit of extra charisma. So if you caught enough of them, like maybe you got hooked or whatever. But it wasn't everybody. They didn't all have that that extra thing about them. And others, like a Harley Race, his legend just grew over time with all the stories that we heard, and shoot interviews and people telling stories of Harley. So without those extra little I don't know, bonuses or learnings or lore, you kind of couldn't get into it like you can now.
Yeah, it's so true. I love it. I love all wrestling now. I'm in a time where if it was up to me, and luckily my wife likes wrestling too, so she'll watch it with me, but I try not to overdo it on her because we'll watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and Collision every single week and not miss it. So, but like I could watch Impact. I could watch more, and it's like, you got to calm down. There's other things. Let the wife choose a few nights of the week. So, but she has figures in her craft room. Like, she'll collect her favorites too as well. It's just fun.
I'm thankful for social media, so I can kind of keep up at least with what's going on with all these companies, because there's so much content now that there's no way to watch everything. It's just impossible. So just watching like the few major shows is a tall task in and of itself. But I can still follow along with a lot of independent companies and what's happening in Japan. And even if I'm busy and can't watch some of the major shows some weeks, you never don't know what's going on because social media does such a good job of covering everything.
It makes you want to go back and like, oh, I gotta go watch this now, and it takes up more time. And the documentaries we get are just so amazing. Like, I
Oh
just
yeah.
love it all. And I also found this figure the other day sitting in Walmart. I was happy
Ooh.
that one up. Like my Walmart went from getting nothing to getting everything the last couple of months. Like it's a great thing. I searched for that RVD Ultimate Edition. I wound up ordering 2 on Macari because I needed
Mhm.
one to open. Literally, I knew it was going to happen. 2 days later, I walk into my Walmart and there's 2 RVDs sitting on a shelf, and I'm like, well, these are coming home with me now too because I can't leave these here. So
Things sometimes get a little backed up at retail. And I think you saw that across multiple brands, especially coming out of the pandemic.
oh yeah,
And now things are getting back on track, and you're finding things at Walmart and Target. And you always saw Legends at Target, like that was kind of a well-oiled machine of getting freshness in there. But Elites and Superstars, Ruthless Aggression, like all the freshest waves have been hitting for all those. So I think hopefully the flow is back to where it's supposed to be once again. But I'm noticing everybody finding stuff, and Elites are performing like really, really well. Number 3 action figure in America right now, which is pretty cool.
wow.
Yeah. Super Mario and Ninja Turtles kind of dethroned us, unfortunately, but I mean, Mario, like what an awesome movie that was, and the toys are great, and Ninja Turtles, like $10, like holy smokes, what a great value for those Ninja Turtle figures. So, but we're hanging in strong at number 3. We might even overtake Mario by the time the year ends and get up to number 2. So,
Wow.
Elites are doing great. Elites are doing great.
I also noticed it seems like the stores seem to be getting them faster now. Like the newer sets are hitting.
Mhm.
It's not taking as long, and I love that too. But and if you're like me, you go to ringsidecollectibles.com and then you don't have to miss anything and hope. So like we have our bases covered. We can get all the figures we want. It's fun going to the stores and looking for the exclusives. So I just have a ball with it all. Like I still like I could need nothing, but on a day off from work during a week, I'm running to Walmart and Target just to see what they have. And if
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
come home.
going myself every chance I get, and I obviously pay attention, to what's going on online. And hopefully it gets even better, right? Things turn the corner, obviously. If you follow along, and I'm sure everyone here does, you're seeing people finding things, and I'm just hoping it gets better and better as we approach 2024 and beyond.
And not to mention, I even got my Walmart pre-orders for the superstars, Hogan and Piper, after I
Hey,
already
there you
found them in
go.
the store. So Walmart's coming through with pre-orders now. So it really is a great time to be a wrestling figure fan. So, um,
Tell them to send my GI Joe pre-orders.
oh, I guess it's not just the wrestling figures Walmart has problems with pre-orders in. Uh, but yes, a whole aisle. We need our. I miss Toys R Us because you always knew they would have something, but I'm getting that feeling back lately when I walk into Target and Walmart. Oh wow, a whole aisle for. I haven't even seen the Mario movie yet. I have to watch it. I've been meaning to.
It's good. They did such a good job of, obviously it's a kids movie, but there's
Yeah.
so many deep cut nods to going back to the early 80s. Like if you followed Mario as a child, like there's stuff in there that you're gonna get and be like, oh my god, like kids are they're not even gonna understand it. Like from 1980, what, 85, like they're not gonna get any of that stuff, but they included it. So kudos to them.
I mean, he goes all the way back to Donkey Kong, right? That's where
Yeah,
Mario was.
yeah. I think there's Donkey Kong game references specifically in the beginning scene. Maybe I only saw it once, so my memory might be getting foggy. But there's tons of little Easter eggs, so it's definitely worth watching.
I'm gonna have to watch it. Now you got me wanting to go play the original Mario Brothers game where you had to climb to the top. Remember if that was for Atari or for Coleco. Do you remember that one?
I think it might have been on both.
Was it on both?
Arcade for sure, and then they kind of ported it over to the home systems.
Yeah, I love those old school video games too. I still could go crazy for them. Are you a video game guy? Do you play any of the wrestling games?
I like to think I am, but I don't have a lot of time for it anymore. I got the download code for this year's 2K game, and sorry, 2K guys, don't be mad. I didn't download it yet. I just haven't had time. But I'm one of those guys who I buy into the hype of a game like the new Zelda game, and I buy it, and then it sits there, and I don't play it for a year. But I do love video games. It's
I do
just
the
like
same thing.
there's just no time.
I buy games every year, and I'm like, why am I buying this? I know it's going to sit there. I'm like, no, I'm going to play it this time. And then I'll play it like the first day I get it and want to play it again. But like you said, when you're an adult and you have a job and you have other responsibilities, it's so hard to find the time. But like the wrestling games are so good now. I love it. Like, and again, like we're mentioning the Mario toys, I've seen them in a toy store too, and I've picked them up a couple of times, and it's like, don't do it, Tom. You don't need you don't need to collect another line
But
of.
their creepy eyes can watch you as you sleep. Did you notice that the eyeballs follow you? They're really creepy but awesome.
I didn't notice that, but now I'm gonna have to go look at it and
Yeah.
figure that out.
I think they use real
I mean,
human
if it's
eyes.
anything 80s, I'm so into 80s nostalgia. Being a kid of the 80s, like I was 5 to 15 in the 80s, so it's perfect timing for me to see all this stuff coming
I
back.
wasn't born. I wasn't born yet.
Uh-huh.
I'm young.
You're younger than me. Oh man. So we talked about the superstars, loving the elites. The brother love figure could be figure of the year, and I also love the RVD figure. I say that could be figure of the year. Like
the ultimate.
The ultimate. That is truly the ultimate RVD figure. Like the scans, everything about it. Like I love that figure. But I love every ultimate figure. Like the ultimates just knock it out of the park, which is again my new adjusted rules is I buy every ultimate. I have to as soon as they go up for pre-order on Ringside, have to order them because if I see other people get them first, it's going to bother me that I don't have them.
I mean, they really have taken off in a way that we never expected, eclipsing any other line of its type, defining moments, entrance greats, like obliterating them, like not even in the same conversation anymore, which I'm very proud of, obviously. Because, you have a few people who really believe in something, and then, the fans and the collectors gravitated towards them. So, thank you to everybody. But I get it. Like, I feel like if I ever had to leave the brand, I would still be all in on Ultimate Edition. And keep. And when I say all in, that means one in box and one out of box, right? Whereas other things, maybe I'll pick and choose and just have opening all my elites only. But Ultimates definitely, I need a mock collection complete for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, I get that. Like I do that with the ultimates. I have to do it with the ultimates. I need them. I love them. They're just beautiful. And then like I'll notice, oh, Andre comes with a different color belt. Well, now I need to go get another one.
Yeah. The fan takeover Hogan behind me, like I think he's face out because behind it are multiples of the Hogan because there's one bandana on, one bandana off. The Hulk Hogan on the top is different on one of them. I'm like, damn it, what the heck? I had to buy them too. I was able to get one from work as a sample, and then the others I had to hunt down on my own because there were variations. So I get it.
I mean, I have all those Hogans as well. So I know. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go reorder it again. Okay. But it's fun. It just makes it fun to show off that you have all of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I have both Randy Savages from Legends, the one where we made a mistake and didn't do the art filter on him. Legends Ultimate Randy. Oh, you didn't know? eBay, here you come. So the first few thousand, maybe low thousands, came out with just a regular photo on the side panel. Yeah. We forgot to do that artwork, that legend style artwork overlay on it. So then, our packaging designer, George, rushed through an artwork version. So there's two versions of that Legends Ultimate Randy Savage.
Now I'm going to have to go hit up eBay, or actually I should check all of mine first because I have multiple of that figure already anyway. So maybe I'm lucky and
they're probably all one version.
Yeah. Speaking of one version, I just got in the mail yesterday the new Target Then Now Forever 4-pack.
Okay.
First of all, that Hulk Hogan figure is the Hogan figure I've always needed. Like from the night he won the title, and the Iron Sheik to go with it. Like I love that. It comes. I never ever imagined I would get that world title like for my figures. Like how crazy is that? Like I love it. But every figure is just a banger in that box set. Like Like The Rock is fully updated. That Hogan is great. The Stone Cold from when he fought KO, and that Becky Lynch figure is amazing. That's another potential
It's
figure.
really good. It's really good.
Figure's
You know,
great.
I saw some people, obviously I know that there are some fans who are not all era fans like maybe you and I are. Maybe they're just modern fans, or maybe they stopped watching and they're lapsed fans at a point. I think Tom, we need interchangeable hair like Nick Storm has
I could use
mentioned.
interchangeable hair for sure.
Um
My
so
friend,
anyway, what was I talking about? I don't even know. I was daydreaming about having hair. Yeah, so I know that the Becky's inclusion threw some people off, right? Because she's modern, but ultimately, I think the set is performing well despite a few bumps in the road to get where we are now. But the kind of box set that was needed, warranted her inclusion, and she is, when we look back 10 years from now, she's not going to look out of place in that box set whatsoever. I don't think she does looks out of place now, but I think historically speaking, like if anybody looks back, she's going to look like she completely belongs in that set.
I agree. She propelled herself to, at that time when she became the man, she was the most popular character in WWE at the time. So to argue she doesn't belong in there, like, tell me a female wrestler that belongs in there more than her, and I don't think I can. I don't think there's anybody that got themselves.
Trish.
I love Trish, but like Becky just got herself so over with the fans. Like it's just fitting for her to be in there. If you had to pick one woman to represent all the women, I don't think you can go wrong with Becky Lynch. So,
Yeah, and the figure is great. Bill did a great job with the figure, so I think that is probably the best Becky we've done.
I
Period.
agree. I think it's an amazing figure. I love that whole set. And real quick, I want to touch on the packaging because you guys have been killing the packaging. When I got the Survivor Series set from Amazon, like the feel of that packaging just brought me back to being a fan at that time. Like you're crushing all the packaging, but that one just like it had that nostalgia feel. It reminded me of the old school Survivor Series with the logo coming on the screen when you're watching it. What a set! Like for the set's amazing too, but like the packaging, I'm excited for packaging now for wrestling.
Well, we have the best packaging team on the planet, and either they come up with something or I give them a starting point and they run with it, and they just kill it. And I just, to me, my approach and advice to them is make the consumer feel something when they see this packaging, especially if it's nostalgia based. When they see it, like all those feelings come back because of the familiar elements of the gobbledygook or Undertaker pack, right? You see it and everything is instantly recognizable, even though it's changed and a little bit different, but like it at a glance. You're like, oh my god, I know what this is, and those feelings come flooding back. So that's the goal for me from a packaging standpoint. Anything nostalgia based needs to make you feel the way that you felt when you were a kid, being surrounded by that stuff, like a little time machine moment.
I feel that they did that exact thing for me with the Survivor Series set. Like it just brought me right back to that time, and it's so awesome we didn't get the Gooker sooner because it just set up for this perfect set of Undertaker and Gooker and having it like that.
Oh yeah. I tried everything I possibly could to get that Gooker figure to happen, but sometimes things not working out works in our favor, and it worked out for everybody who wanted it. I think because you got the best possible version, from packaging, the figure execution, to the egg stand, like everything you name it, it's in there. So I'm very happy that's checked off the wrestling action figure career bucket list.
Are we any closer to getting any steel cages for the new gen or the Royals War Ring? Any accessories?
I mean, slowly but surely, with every with every ring purchase, we get closer, right? We're moving into the Nitro ring with Eric Bischoff soon. Ringside will probably put that up for pre-order sometime soon. And then early next year with Mattel Creations. And we already have a plan for a follow-up different type of a ring. So, as we build out that user base, so to speak, of people who own these, it makes being able to do accessories, skirts, cages, whatever, more viable. if not, like if we were just like cut off at new generation, I think we may have talked about this before. If we just cut it off at new generation after that crowdfund, like you've got less than 8,000 people willing to buy a cage, right? Because how many of those wound up on the secondary market? How many people actually want the cage? So it's like a couple thousand, maybe if you're lucky, want to buy that, and it's a high tooling expense to tool up the cage, so it becomes very difficult. And I know some people don't care about that stuff, so that's just information for the people who do care. And if all you care about is you just want it, well, keep wanting it, and I'll keep trying to make it happen.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense when you explain it that way. Like you said, if there's only 8,000, but now if there's a certain amount of Raw's War, now there's also the Monday night, the WCW ring. It just makes a lot of sense. More people have it, so more people will want it. It's just, if it's just 20% from the new gen who want it, but now you have 20% from this who want it, and 30, like it just makes a lot of sense.
And you get reuse out of it too. Like, let's say you tool up your classic blue cage for the new gen ring. Now you have that tooled up, and you could do the black version for the Attitude Era ring, right? So it's just like, you're just kind of building momentum over time to eventually be able to do something like that. Because you want it to be successful too. Like if I push that through now and burned up goodwill, like, hey, trust me, let's make this happen, and then it bombs, then you don't get things like that as easily anymore. And I don't want that to happen. I want every item that we do, I want it to be as successful as possible, so we can build on that momentum and keep this train rolling.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How about I jump in the chat and see if there's any questions we should answer, or do you want to do it? Would you rather do it?
Bring them up.
All right, let's see. I saw a lot in here. Oh, no, Roddy Piper smashed the record over Lou Albano's head. I remember that vividly. It was Cyndi Lauper was in the ring at the time.
Roddy, is that where Roddy kicked Cindy and everyone was horrified in the audience? Yeah.
He body slammed Dave Wolf and he kicked Cindy in the head. Let's see. I know I saw questions here. I have. Where'd they all go? Somebody asking for Lanny Poffo. That's a dream come true.
I wish. Yeah, maybe someday.
When is it? Oh, okay. Somebody's questioning the delay about the Foley 3-pack and wondering if it has to do with the packaging. Can you touch
I don't. Was that on social media today?
No, that was just a chat and a comment here. Maybe they saw it on social media.
Yeah, where was that seen? It might be the packaging. It might be.
I sent out an email announcing that it was delayed until January.
Could be the packaging, right? Modifying the packaging, tweaking it. Yeah, approval times, could be a whole host of things.
Okay, do you have a timeline for when we're going to see the Monday Night Wars Elite figures?
So tentatively, it is scheduled to be on the WrestleMania shipper. That could change. So if something happens and it's not on there, I'll let you guys know. But tentatively, Wave 1 will appear on that shipper in time for WrestleMania, and then Wave 2 will be on Planogram, maybe in April-ish. So yeah, you can see that as soon as those WrestleMania shippers start hitting, I hope that you'll be able to find Wave 1.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Somebody's asking about Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. I would say there's always a chance we're going to get them if they're on WWE TV. Why not? Yeah. I just answered the question for you.
There you go. Who needs me?
Yeah. Somebody's asking, is it possible to get a 3 or 4-pack of Ultimate Edition figures like on Mattel Creations of DX or NWO? I mean, why not? I can see that happening too.
There you go. You heard it from the man.
This is the best one I've seen. I'm just going to let you read that real quick. I know I don't usually like to answer these, but that would be perfect for the Superstar.
Oh, I was just last night wasting my personal time plotting out a way to do it that makes the most sense. Yeah, I would love it, right? Anyone who is that toyetic should be in a line like Superstars.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely toyetic.
Yeah, there's so many people still from the 80s that you could do from the Superstars too. I don't need to name them. Just as well as I do, everybody from the 80s.
Ted Arcidi.
We go back to Ted Arcidi. He'll be in Coliseum Collection, and you have to pair somebody with him that might not sell. So
Ted Arcidi and ST Jones Coliseum Collection 2-pack, and the
You know,
line
I would be
the
buying,
line ended shortly thereafter.
I would be buying 2 of those, so at least you'd sell 2.
There you go.
Especially for the SD Jones, like special delivery Jones fee. Like, yes,
Oh, yeah. Multiple soft good shirts for all the
yeah,
variations.
all the variants. You could just do a 3-pack of SD Jones, and there you go. Who doesn't want that? There's that same question again. Oh, we saw the pictures of the Amazon from WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. The packaging again. Like, I've even heard people saying who thought they might not need it. They saw the packaging and I'm like, now I need it. And that's what I think packaging is doing these days. Even same thing over at Jazware. It's like, it just, the packaging makes it more fun when you're a mint on card guy. I think, like, when it's just crushing it like that.
I think when you're able to tie into, I think what I said before, basically, something that just draws you in emotionally, like that X opening for the entrance at WrestleMania 10, I mean, is burned into our minds, and just being able to recreate that on packaging, like instantaneously, you're like, oh my God. And it might turn an item that is kind of want into a must-have.
CW, or people are asking for ECW stage and arena. I'd be down for that, you know, anything.
It was, at least was simpler, right? You know, I don't know if this would be doable from a retail standpoint, or maybe it's Mattel Creations, but maybe it's like the raw letters, you know, a little more simple. It's not elaborate, not like a Nitro stage, obviously.
There you go. Jesus is saying, any chance of getting the crowdfunding soon? Any talks about a next try?
So we kind of have a 1 year on, 1 year off kind of cadence to the WWE crowd funds, or what, you know, they are or what they could be. Being vague there, because I don't know what the next step is, because we're kind of in the off year and I'm taking the mental break from it. I mean, of course, there's a million ideas, right? There are a million ideas that we didn't move forward with the last time. And there, I'm sure, more ideas that we could explore. So, you know, I'm taking a much needed break from even thinking about the crowd funds until we have to start fully exploring once again. Maybe it's a crowd fund. Maybe it's made to order with a minimum. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be yet. But we're, you know, I'm sure that the time's going to come soon where I have to dive into that.
Look at this guy. Look at this clown in the chat.
I don't know. Maybe. Get me a Supreme.
Exactly. I'm still looking for the Supreme on my shelves. But
I got shipped the Cody Supreme, which, I mean, is a great figure, but I had it already.
You know, it's funny. All the Codys have just been hitting my Walmarts again, the Cody Supreme, and they're disappearing just like that. That just shows you how popular that guy is. So,
oh yeah.
Listen, love Cody. I love wrestling. I love everything that's going on right now. It's such a, to see the little kids loving Cody. Like, I have friends and their kids just absolutely love Cody. I wound up with 4 of the Cody Ultimate Editions because I reordered one from Ringside and I gave it to my friend's kid. I'm like, I don't need 4, and he loves Cody. And it's just a great thing to make little kids love wrestling and make them happy, because, you know, it's just wrestling. It's what I love.
Right. Join us in our crazy spending.
Exactly. It's so weird when I hear of a wrestling fan who doesn't collect figures. It seems like so many of them do, like the real diehards. And even if they don't have a full-blown collection like me, you'll see, like, my friend, he doesn't have a collection, but he'll buy what he likes. And he's like trying not to buy the superstars, but he loves them. I'm like, just give in. Just get them. Like, what are you waiting for? Yeah, Nick Storm is the only guy in the world who actually has that right now. You bum. Australia got something, all right? Oh man, Steve, thank you so much for giving your time again. This is, as always, it's a blast when you're here. Any thoughts? Anything else you want to tell people where to find you?
You can find me. Oh, do you want a sneak peek of something before I go?
Of course,
no, you don't want it. So back at Comic-Con, we showed you the SummerSlam Warrior Ultimate Edition, right? Legends Ultimate Edition, based on SummerSlam, where he teamed with Hulk Hogan, and Bill gave him a really dark, nice looking tan, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was well received. So when we looked into updating the Hogan 3-pack tans, as we said we would, we went and matched that tan for Warrior with Hulk here. So you see a really deep tan on the 3-pack Hogan. So the 2 latter year Hogans, NWO and Hulk Still Rules, will have this deeper tan, just like Warrior. So we're trying out a darker tan for the Hulkster, even darker than the 80s tan that we were using. So that's your first look here. This is final version.
Wow, that's great.
That's it.
Wow.
California tan Hogan. Absolutely.
I need it. You know that. You can just give me all the Hogans. Everybody's like, how many Hogans are they releasing? And I'm like, not enough. Like,
there's more. There's more.
Yeah, I'll always take Hogan figures. Like, listen, there's certain people I'm just buying every figure of. It's Hogan, it's Piper, it's Macho, it's 80s guys.
So we don't even have to change anything, right?
Yeah.
All yellow trunks.
Yeah.
Red knee pads.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that was what I wanted to share. I was saving that for you. I wanted to do something special for you and the audience here. You can follow me on Instagram, Action Figure Attack, Action Fig Attack on Twitter /X and TikTok. And that's it. WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Fingers crossed I'll be there.
I'll be there. You better be there. I already put in for the week off from work, so I could just do everything. It's in my backyard. You know, I drive to Philly for work every day. Any chance for an announcer set? That'd be cool. You never know, guys.
I mean, when you put Jesse Ventura in there, that adds several question marks to it. An announcer pack in general, maybe, right?
Jesse the body shop. Remember the body shop? Nobody remembers the body shop that he hosted when I was a kid.
I know of the body shop, but I never saw live body shops back in the day. I saw the flower shop, the snake pit, barber shop, of course, Piper's Pit, several iterations of that. But I never actually saw a live body shop on TV on Saturday mornings.
I think it was on Challenge. I think Piper's Pit back in the day was on Superstars, and they had Jesse Ventura host a body shop on Wrestling Challenge for a while. So it had no great moments. Like he never hit anybody in the head with a coconut. Nobody ever got thrown through a glass window. Like those are probably the two most famous moments from like talk show, like wrestling talk shows, right? I can't. Although Hogan and Andre too for WrestleMania 3, that was pretty epic.
Yeah, Earthquake attacking Hogan on Brother Love's set.
Well, Undertaker too. We had the Ultimate Warrior throwing up at in the funeral parlor. No, Wait, what was that? Undertaker.
The throw up scene was Papa Shango. It was on the blue interview stand with Mean Gene. No, I'm sorry. That was the Black Goo. The throw up was like in a medical room behind the scenes. The funeral parlor was locked. Was Ultimate Warrior locked in the casket?
That's it.
And then it was also Jake locking Undertaker's hand in the casket, and Undertaker dragging the casket, chasing Jake when he turned face. Lots of great moments, right? Lots of great talk show moments. That's what they were all about, driving the storylines forward. So
and they did it so well. I love those stories. I love watching those segments.
That excites me more than an announcer pack, really, because you can do announcers, as single figures or build a figures, but like a talk show set would be pretty sweet.
My dream is the Piper's Pit, but I've told you that before, and I think everybody who knows me knows I want a Piper's Pit. But and maybe one day, hopefully, we get it. You never know. I love like Piper's Pit. That's the granddaddy of all the talk shows. Like, I wonder if we still get all the other ones if it's Piper doesn't actually have that. I don't
know. Carlito's Cabana.
Carlito's Cabana. Wow. Yeah. The current ones just don't match. They don't have that same feel as the ones they did back in the day. I don't know if it's because they're in the ring and they don't get their own little stage. Like, to me, like when they had their own little stage, it was just part of the fun.
I think it's because we're old and we're like, in my day, the body shop was better than Carlito's Cabana.
It's like our parents telling story. We had to walk 2 miles up a hill to get to school, and it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah. They had a stage. They had a stage for their talk shows back in the day.
Exactly. You mean they had their own stage and it was built? Yes. It wasn't just a carpet in a ring with some plants and And Batista wonders why he always has plants when he's coming out with a Ruthless Aggression set.
You
It's
got to
so
keep that gag going.
it's
Ultimate Batista with just all plants around him in the packaging.
all right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Head on over to theturnbuckletavern.com and please follow us everywhere. And Action Figure Attack on all social media. You can follow Steve. It's a fun follow. Until next week, guys, we'll see you then. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you. You're the best.
All right.